Greetings, Guardians, gamers, and everyone in between. Welcome to your ultimate dose of gaming headlines. Maybe hotter than the Gjallarhorn. This week, we've got Destiny 2's Fireteam Finder by the numbers. Will it be a matchmaker heaven or a ghost town graveyard? Hideo Kojima and Konami, buckle up, the plot twists you need to hear. And Naughty Dog unleashes a Last of Us multiplayer update that'll leave you saying, wow, Ellie? Okay then. So hit that subscribe button faster than a sprinting titan, unless you're hiding around a corner with a well. And get ready to dive into the top gaming news of the week. Let's get started. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be starting a new series where I'll be covering gaming content headlines of the week, the top headlines of the week. In this video, I'll be covering Destiny 2's Fireteam Finder. We'll also talk about Hideo Kojima and what's happening with Konami, some thoughts there, as well as what's happening with Naughty Dog and Last of Us. We're going to talk about that update. So if you like live streams, gaming updates, and tech conversation, especially tech dealing with gaming stuff, definitely make sure you like and subscribe. And we're starting right now. All right, so this week in Destiny 12/14/2023, I wanted to cover this for sure before the year was out. This is the last Destiny, this week in Destiny article that we're going to see for them this year. And it says here, the decorations are up in the tower and the smells of the cookies is in the air as Guardians span out across the galaxy to deconstruct their enemies for baking materials. This is our last this week in Destiny of the year, so let's get to it. So this one, they covered a couple of things. They covered the Dawning is live. They also covered the Bake Off winners and Fireteam Finder beta launch. They also covered that, which we're going to talk about here. Year of Giving, end of year stats, and then the new Prime Gaming drop, if you weren't aware that was available. Okay, so we have, of course, the trailer, which we're not going to play here, but it is available on the actual site. And over here, we start seeing the actual Bake Off, and these individuals, as you can see, have done an amazing job for this contest. And I do have the cookbook. I definitely want to do some stuff in the cookbook as well, but you can see that these individuals did an amazing job, for this contest. So we're just scrolling through that, so you're able to take a look at that. Okay, so it says here, to the victors go to spoil, and each of these Guardians is taking home the Draconis, Tetrachroma, and Art of the Week emblems to commemorate putting their masterful baking skills on display. Thank you to everyone who shared their culinary prowess. We enjoyed getting to marvel at everyone's sweet Dawning tributes. Okay, so the Dawning is happening right now. If you have not checked out the Dawning, definitely check that out. They do have some incredible weapons, and I did cover that recently, so make sure you check out the Dawning for sure. So Fireteam Finder. Fireteam, it is a pretty neat feature. It's a feature that we wanted for a long time in Destiny, and now that we finally have it, we do have some stats that, correlate with that, right? So it says, last week we continued our careful rollout of the new Fireteam Finder beta, and the results were solid. Following the second test last Wednesday, all gauges were in the green, so we decided to let it roll out with all activities enabled. Okay, so if you have not checked out Fireteam Finder, now it's available everywhere. Okay, so if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the Fireteam Finder preview video, so definitely check that out. We have what might be the most thrilling trailer for a matchmaking feature you've ever seen. Okay, so definitely check out the trailer. Maybe I'll put in a little bit of that trailer in here somewhere. Okay, so we'll see about that. Okay, so Fireteam Finder has already proven to be invaluable for quickly getting Guardians extra backup to tackle the more difficult activities in Destiny 2. Now, okay, that we have expanded the beta to all activities, you can use it to find friends, to run some chill strikes, go PvP, Wild and Iron Banner, or start a dance party in the tower. We love watching how you use this new tool to build the fire teams and hopefully new friendships and we can't wait to see all the cool new ways you utilize it in the future. We are going to leave the beta tag on for a bit because we want to work on some small updates like adding emojis, which will be a good update, right? And we have some bugs to fix, but don't worry, we promise not to run this beta as long as guided games. And guided games, I don't know if I ever really used guided games, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever really used that. And it says here, we're hoping to remove the tag early next year. Speaking of bug fixes, we fixed the issue with checkpoints getting lost in update 7.3.0.3 early this week. And we have a list of known issues we are tracking and the player support report below. We shared some stats on Fireteam Finder last week, and we have a couple of more fun facts for you. Here are the top 3 activities where we've seen groups form via Fireteam Finder, okay? Which these are activities I actually need, okay? So you have dungeons, 43.3%, okay? Raids, 26.5%, free roam, 21.1%. So dungeons, as much as I want to do a lot of these activities, this has been a challenge for me because I do not have anyone to play the game with. I just choose to do a lot of stuff solo. That's not completely accurate. I do, but I just choose to do a lot of the things solo. Okay. So dungeons, if there's, of course, as you know, if you've been to this channel, and if you haven't, welcome. I love pulse rifles in the game. Okay, so if there's a pulse rifle somewhere, I'm going to figure out a way to get it, right? Especially when it comes to, you know, trials. I recently got the messenger, so I was happy about that. I'll find a way to get it. So if Fireteam Finder is going to be the way for me to get some weapons that I currently do not have, that may be a pulse rifle, so I'm going to have to do that and see what's going on there. So over here it says lost sector completion rate by Fireteam Finder groups. So you have Aphelian's Rest, 84%, Bay of Drowned Wishes, 77%, Scavenger's Den, 73%, Skydock, 73%, and the Quarry, 70%. Okay, and it says, thank you so much for coming along with us on this journey and helping us do our final tests at scale in a live game. Okay, so that's what's happening here. It talks about a year of giving here. And it says, as we head into the holiday season and close out 2023, you want to take a moment to celebrate and thank you for all the good that this community has helped bring into the world. To date, your generous support has helped us raise 3.2 million this year. Okay, and it gives some additional stats there. You have a gratitude video here. And then, of course, wrapping up with some additional stats. And for the stats here, it says wrapping up 2023. This year is coming quickly to a close, and we wanted to take a moment to look back at 2023 and our collective accomplishments. We have some fun stats pulled by our amazing analytics team to share with you before we put a bow on this year. So the crafting, there were 2.8 million weapons crafted during the crafting. And okay, so the weapon of choice, the Amit AR2, which is interesting. I may have to look into that. You know, there may be some special things going on there. Crota's End, 16.4 million attempts by 1.1 million guardians. And then you have 6.2 million clears by 690k guardians. Interesting. Root of Nightmares, 28.7 million attempts by 1.6 million guardians. And it says 14.8 million clears by 1.2 million guardians. Like the ratio for these, okay, are extremely interesting, right? When you look at the attempts and stuff like that. Warlord's Ruin, 4.9 million attempts by 687k guardians, okay. 2.0 clears, okay, by 528k guardians. And last but not least, Ghost of the Deep, 19.8 million attempts by 1.3 million guardians, 8.4 million clears by 1.1 million guardians. Okay, so these are the stats for that. and love the fact that they continue to do the Prime loot. So if you have not checked that out yet, make sure you do. It will be available to claim for all paid Amazon Prime members from December 13th until January 3rd. And it includes these cool cosmetics. So make sure you check that out. So that's the update for Destiny and what's happening with Fireteam Finder. This here is an incredible deal and you need to act now. If you're watching this video right now and you're seeing what's on the screen, this is free until the 20th of December. Okay, Destiny 2 Legacy Collection 2023. And let's see what it includes here. Okay, it says this edition includes the Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep. Play through 3 epic campaigns, unlock 37 exotic weapons, 15 exotic pieces of armor, and the power of stasis, allowing you to lock down and control the battlefield. This is a $59.99 value, 100% free. This sale ends on 12/20/2023 at 11 a.m. Feeling overwhelmed? Enter TubeBuddy, your all-in-one superhero sidekick. Keywords, thumbnails, growth hacks, it's got it all. Optimize titles, schedule posts, track results. It's like a secret weapon for your channel. So stop struggling, start soaring with TubeBuddy. Link in the description below. So Hideo Kojima says he was opposed by peers, colleagues, and relatives when he decided to go independent. I think that tends to happen for not just Hideo Kojima, but for every individual who decides that they're going to do something unique. They're not going to go a traditional route, whether it be certificates or master's level, bachelor's, and all those different things that we have at our disposal. Anyone that is a disruptor who decides to do something different is going to have some pushback until it works for that person. And then they go, hey, I knew all along that you were going to be great. Did you really? Yeah, okay. So Hideo Kojima says he was opposed, and let's read some of the comments here. It says young creators must be given freedom of choice. Okay, Hideo Kojima says when he parted ways with Konami, he was opposed by peers, colleagues, and relatives who told him that going independent would never work. So there wasn't even any faith level in there, okay, at all. They just say, hey, it's not gonna work, right? Not really encouraging or supporting a legend that we've seen do, countless Metal Gear games that we appreciate. But at any rate, so it says here, and in a statement here to X, and it says Kojima also reflected on why he continues to make games, saying that one of the reasons he became an independent developer was because creating games is living and no longer a job. I just get excited, okay? Because I know like I have to create this video, and especially when it has a deadline, there's this fuel that happens, okay? When you have to create content on the internet, whether you're using any other platform and you're using, of course, YouTube, which is where we are, I just get excited to create because I know that the video is going to be watched by a person, okay? And that's you, right? And is going to provide information that YouTube says that you wanted to hear about. And I think that's pretty dope. So I don't have to carry this video, from place to place and say, hey, would you like to watch this? Or I don't have to do that, right? And I think that there's just this beauty of seeing the metrics and seeing that something that you created, something that was in your mind, and now it's available to the public. Even how the first minute or so in the video is edited, right? I think all that stuff is really incredible. Or live streams, when you're playing, different games on your channel, or you're creating shorts. I think all that stuff is really good. So the fact that we have the ability to do that and YouTube rewards us for that, I think is absolutely incredible, in my opinion. Okay, I definitely want to hear your opinion on that. All right, so then we have that, and then it says here, I'm gonna pause this here. And then it says the reason why I'm independent and advocate a lifelong career is because for me, creating things is no longer a job. And that's what the tweet says. And it goes here to say, let's see if I could close this here. That's why there's no retirement. Creating things is living. One more thing. In the game industry, there are a few people who have succeeded in becoming independent from a major game production studio, whether in Japan or abroad. And even 8 years ago, when I started my own company, I was opposed by everyone, including my peers, colleagues, and relatives, who said it will never work. So there wasn't even any encouragement there, which is insane to me. It is insane to me. Okay. And the reason I say that is because Hideo Kojima is a living legend for game development and storytelling to us who enjoy games and play games and all the things that we do. So for still being the individual who, as the statement goes, like a prophet isn't appreciated or welcome in his own, country or town. That's even true for someone like Hideo Kojima, which is insane, especially when you see the body of work, right? Which I don't know, man. To me, it doesn't even make sense. They said it was impossible without the financial and organizational strength of a company. Maybe not, right? Because we've seen Kojima do a lot of collaborations and partnerships with other companies to add the pieces that he needed to still be independent. And a lot of companies do that, and a lot of creators do that. And it says here, however, someone must prove that is an old-fashioned way of thinking. He added, young creators must be given freedom of choice. This is one of the reasons why I continue to create things. And I think that it is really shameful when you think about it, for someone with such, amazing work in the industry, that he would still get pushback on trying to do something different, as if everything that he learned with all the different titles that we've seen wouldn't be applied in some way, shape, or form in a new thing that he would introduce. It is insane to me, right? And we're talking about a living legend in Hideo Kojima. So I'm glad that he did go independent. I'm glad that he's still creating. We still get to appreciate games like Death Stranding, recently announced OD from the Game Awards. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be seeing in the future. And even when you go back and just appreciate all the Metal Gear games for what they are, okay? By way of storytelling, and even if the story didn't always make sense, it wasn't always coherent at some points, depending on when you played the title, it is still a masterpiece that we receive from this living legend, Hideo Kojima. So Naughty Dog cancels The Last of Us Online. I wasn't necessarily looking for The Last of Us Online. I really wasn't. I didn't really play Last of Us. When I first played Last of Us at a convention, I was like, this is scary. I don't do scary games. I don't do jump scares very well. So this wasn't necessarily a game that I was going to play, but I do appreciate everything surrounding it. I did start watching the show. I think the show is really, really dope. I need to go back and finish that, okay? But Last of Us Online isn't something that I was looking for. But if you were looking for it, then, and you're probably disappointed since they canceled it, I hope that they bring something to you that you're going to enjoy in the future. I know what I want. But let's read this and we will talk about what I would like to see. Maybe you would want to see it too, okay? So it says here, Naughty Dog has stopped development on The Last of Us Online. The studio shared an update about its multiplayer project in a blog post on Thursday, in which it stated the decision came down to what maintaining an online service game would mean for its single player titles currently in development. Okay, which is a good thing to know. Okay, so there's that. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we'd have to put all our studio resources behind supporting post-launch content for years to come. Okay, they weren't ready to do that apparently, severely impacting development on future single-player games, the studio wrote. So, we had two paths in front of us: become a solely live service game studio or continue to focus on single-player narrative games. that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage, okay? And they decided to do that, all right? It concluded, "We are immensely proud of everyone at the studio that touched this project. The learnings and investment in technology from this game will carry into how we develop our projects and will be invaluable in the direction we are headed as a studio." Okay? Now, this is great. You know, they know what the North Star is for them. Okay, so shout outs to that. But this is not what I wanted, right? I don't know what you want, but this is not what I wanted. What I want to see is an Uncharted 2/3, give or take, multiplayer release to the PC folks. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't know what way they can do that, but I think that'd be incredible for individuals who miss that mode. I think that when you look at and how do I think about this, right? When you look at what Halo has done, okay, to bring Halo back to what we enjoy about Halo, you should consider taking notes there. Yes, I know it's tough to do that depending on what you have by way of resources with certain companies, but I think that we're seeing a lot of these companies go back to the things that made them great. Okay, we see Resident Evil remaking stuff. We see Bungie working on a lot of different things that we've enjoyed over the years, right? For Destiny. And we also see pretty much a lot of companies doing that when you think about it. Giving you something that you enjoyed over the years that made them a lot of money. Okay, and they reimagine those things. We also see Call of Duty doing that. And we can go down the list of a lot of companies that are actually doing that, in real time. It is something that we're seeing over and over again, right? Now, Uncharted 2, in my opinion, was one of the greatest Uncharted games that we've seen from this company, right? Now, the multiplayer experience, I think, was amazing as well. So the fact that they didn't really bring it back to a wider audience, to me, is just mind blowing. I don't get it, right? But I think it's something that we should see in the future if they're able to do it. But again, it'll be a live, multiplayer experience, and maybe we'll never see it based on this message here. But it is what it is.